I was on Auntie. This morning I woke up to also for a friend say Reverend Dr. Lawrence Tetteh or trendy, and it looks like most of the Ashanti blogs, some Ashanti platforms, Asante Funo. So I decided to dig up and see what is going on. Nina say, "Omuchi mo Sophia for granting interview can say they feel like what I care Asante Fontieni or software friend say Lawrence Tetteh me pacho omonso air blasting a palm. Now the okokan I could trigger the heat in any. Intimation I chance on this interview on YouTube where last Friday also friends Reverend Dr. Lawrence Tetteh Eko grantee interview Punimpu that is Omushu Omoya Okoho. Now it was in reaction to the LGBTQ ehons and some airqua amount for few say why silent. Now there is a background that could trigger this particular invitation in any. Over way back around the MPP administration, also for friends Lawrence Tetteh me championing a demonstration where he titled that demonstration, as this nonsense must stop. In fact, those times, what me promises if say Nana Kwaku and signed the LGBTQ plus bill na yambani ntumu ne ho ne manema obetime lead demonstration and then they will march to the Flagstaff House. And then that administration ekoi nti anti bibia ena NDC eba and ebusia every NDC buy people started criticizing Reverend Dr. Lawrence Tetteh say why silent because then time the energy the appetite that wode ana or they fight LGBTQ onsensem ana o protested calling for the bill to be signed and all that the protest and the threat ana o issues so betimi storm the Jubilee House etimi akọ make sure say ya sign the bill no as he say ahode no swati intiama for started blasting now in the course of that you make reference to some videos be ana circulating online then time ana with me kicking can answer me at the intiama for started at the gate those videos at the buy and then they were questioning say at the internet also friend say Lawrence Tetteh as at this time ahode ana they fight then time no we nani as a wagum this time why we me anano and they were questioning is it because say when you be didi na funuma maintain we me anano na so also for Dr. Lawrence Tetteh etimi kopie mu e wo UTV na all clear replying those critics na omo etimi blasting as at this time the fight and the protest na we then time we tone it down e ho na obechi mu say omo criticizing no enye ne and we started that protest as LGBTQ and this nonsense must stop and all that no now or say that this nonsense must stop protests or started ya MPP phone who said then time and the Akuffo administration na all pressing neck no protest and I say campaign I was starting way back what I say and so it has no political connotation under the MPP administration and it's not like a new way it is still in force and the same kind of way and one way it say as part of the this nonsense must stop protest no enya bia e focus on the ntumu bill nkwa but then there were some other things are not and e ha na trigger asem no that is when also for Lawrence Tetteh etimi ko say this nonsense must stop demonstration and the protest the campaign now involve a whole lot of things are limited to the tumu thing nkwa. That was when he says as part of those protests nemu bahakubi who say it is a nonsense and that it must stop include say gafo etega otenkran na say wo katwi gafo anaso obi beba gan asase so as in enkran asase so no be business na instead of say obi use gan anaso obema gafo nso language abemu na oyusu chi nkwamos and he feels like unfair it is a nonsense and it must stop. Now before so obi do that part no odi can criticize Dr. Kwame despite the management of UTV where he pointed out Roger Kwati say Roger Kwati like this where Gani and until as what na say UTV the Akan the tree programs are taking over was or more Akan for and also more than for assassins. Into until say chim crosses then times when we program now obetimi akọ launch protest and kasa physically now watch until say despite media UTV the OKFM and all that one can for assassins but I want to say use Ganfo language name omundi chi and that was part of the protest so it's not like you're limited to LGBTQ. A whole lot of issues, and this is the part among four issues. Why would you call Accra radio station and also be out Accra no country say a nonsense and that it must stop? And no any issue there with you. A court regard the Ashantis are or more able for Multimedia margin edema or so for Reverend Lawrence Tetteh. Now Yentie or so for them said Okano. With your court trigger a year Asante Fono.
Was an need despite a bong na you monk dangby. Dog. Gamash Mona Manoni.
As some like I say.
It's not fair. I think we should To be honest with you, and I think it's something I need to discuss with my good friend Kwame Despite and Father Dixon. Father Dixon is the Dangbe boy.
Yes.
I don't know why he's not making this. So when we finish here, I'm going to look for him.
Yes, I'm like,
and it's not right. We have to. Otherwise, what's happening is not fair.
Oh no.
It's not fair at all that now I come and sit. So of course I don't mind at all, Abena.
Okay.
The way you are beautiful dressed now, I'm happy to speak Gan or Dango.
Unfortunately, I don't speak English.
Okay. So this nonsense must stop. Begins with UTV. The absurdity of not speaking Gan and everything must be tree is not fair. There's no balance. So as much as possible, not just the way we are learning your languages, you to learn our languages and create fairness. Fred Dixon is one of the big shots here. He's a Dangbe boy. He was speaking Gadangbe here, and to enlighten to be an inspiration for most of our Ghana young people. And Dr. Akwari, despite, he's been on the Ghana land for a long time. All his money is being made on the Ghana land. There's no reason why he should not be speaking Ghana. Anyway, I would have loved to have spoken the tree if possible, but I will not be consistent. So let's speak English. So that
24, you organized a rally called "This Nonsense Must Stop," and during that time, it was the former president Nana Dankwa Akufo era, and this issue came up, LGBTQ. Others says you might have a personal relationship, you might have their numbers, but you end up having your favorite. Because during that time, I mean, you came out, you were very vocal, and you even threatened to even march to Jubilee House if the bill is not, signed. Recently, you went to GTV and you made, a statement that we shouldn't politicize, this issue. And you're praying that President Mahama, the people around him should, get the courage to advise him, and we should pray for him. But others said your demeanor, your utterances, and how your facial expression during the time, it has switched. And even, if you look at this papers, the new, the Ghanaian publisher, Dr. Lawrence Tetteh's hypocrisy exposed. Do you think Ghanaians are actually not getting, they don't understand you well, or because you have your favorite, which is President Mahama, that is why now your stance has changed, or even the way you talk? Because the moment you said we shouldn't politicize this, they will say you started, because once you said you will march there, then automatically you've politicized it. So what do you say to them?
It's a very interesting discuss this morning. Nothing has changed with Lawrence Tetteh.
Nothing has changed.
And let me also put this record straight. This nonsense must stop started before you were born.
Whoa.
I've been speaking on this nonsense must stop for 30 years now.
I was born before.
It's just a metaphor.
So over 3 decades.
I've been speaking on this nonsense must stop. I started speaking on this nonsense must stop as far as the early 90s.
Okay.
Now go back and Google and look at this nonsense must stop. How many years has been doing it in Ghana?
Okay.
It is a message that God gave to me, the absurdity of life. This nonsense must stop. It's not only about LGBT. LGBT is one of the nonsense. But that's not the only nonsense that must stop. One of the nonsense that must stop was what I spoke to you about this morning. That you sit here in Accra and speak only Twi, and you don't speak the Ghana language. It is not fair. Absurdity, it must stop. What is this nonsense must stop? This nonsense must stop is something that is not right. This nonsense must stop. Certainly, if we want to term it on LGBT terms. My good friend and brother, Moses Fuamane, made an analogy the last time. I love it. He said, if you say it's your right, put this water in your ears. If you are thirsty, where do you drink from?
Your mouth.
Yes. So if you put it from your ears, are you not mad? Is it not inhuman?
Of course, you can't quench your thirst through your ear.
You even be sick. You'll be a sick man. We are bad for secure logible if you do that.
Sebi.
Do you understand? Bible and to Sebi. Bible and to Sebi.
You understand the truth very, very well.
But me come what you say. Bible to ta flache. Babra it to ta flache. He where me like a feel. What do you use your eye for?
To see.
Your nose,
smell,
mouth,
eat,
leg,
talk, walk.
So if God give you, for want of a better word, a manhood, what do you use the manhood for?
Reproduction.
Thank you. So intercourse is manhood. So if you tell me that a human being is using their manhood for anus, when manhood is supposed to be for the vagina. That is what the biology says. That is absurdity. That's not human right. But let's even come back to it. What you asked first. So for 30 years, I've been speaking on this nonsense must stop. Every year, in the month of my birthday, from 1st May to 31st May, I hold this conference in Ghana. It is not just 2 years ago I started. And so anybody who reduces it to 2 years ago is just being little-minded and being petty about me. I've not changed. I've been doing this nonsense must stop. And let me give you the background this nonsense must stop. That I realized that a lot of beautiful ladies are walking on the street. They are not getting married. Rather, it is married men who propose to them. This is a nonsense that must stop. A lot of people who are living very righteous lives, but things doesn't go well for them. It is a nonsense that must stop. The Bible says it's an error that royalties, Ecclesiastes says royalties, are walking barefooted on the floor, while slaves are riding on horses. And Solomon referred to it in Ecclesiastes as absurdity. So it is a nonsense that must stop. And truly, you look at life now, there are a lot of people who are working very hard, but they get very little. There are a lot of people who are living on a lot of bad things, and they rather get the money. As you and I sit here today, you'll be surprised that the hard work you do here by getting up early in the morning to come and sit here now, there's somebody who doesn't do that hard work. But the amount of money they get, you don't get it. That nonsense must stop. The nonsense also must stop from where we miss the right things. Men sleeping with men is nonsense. Women sleeping with men is nonsense.
So we also for friends Dr. Reverend Lawrence Tetteh. Ono ene buzuan ko kan some ezi asantefo no e feel triggered on feel say he's like indirectly or attacking asantefo wo tribal, because why would you see as we be te Akan we be te enkramem and I say dwumadi bi as in a media house be to say UTV despite media e wa class so not omu use chi e dia programs are you feel offended and you think it's a nonsense a stop it. So you are launching a campaign against the use of Akan language or the Chi language so. And the criticisms among for prayers at the time I no can say blast asantefo condemn the use of Asante language as a dominating Accra any media houses no na oyusu brofo where you ga that was like English was majority of the language I know you this interview. And among for which just will feel say pampa or value in the Gan language no and I feel say the protest now or no has no tribal connotation. I didn't know no use in a Gan name more use brofo. So like feel comfortable speaking brofo, but we issue with Gan and Nimpo, Gan and what Accra, na all catchy, all because Waba Accra, and to him it's not nice, it will be free. Baby Aba Accra set up business and answer what think and I walk catchy is a nonsense to him and it must stop. That is according to us. So we some trigger attacks. It is on online who say Dr. Reverend Lawrence Tetteh. Me bato among for blasting all the Ashantis, especially Omo Ejano, fire shorter, honsem, and it was a me area amount. So, and our first time on Phoenix Media, you know, subscribe to channel and say we drop a video being updated. Because the tree, as and when a benya follow up and so bet me ama when ya the echo. Yeah, so check what the comment section be the